Hi everyone! Welcome to your weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Urbonis, and I am very excited to give you a sneak peek of a bundle that is coming out in the new holiday catalog. Now it is currently September 2nd, and technically our holiday catalog starts September 3rd. So I'm not able to show you the pages that this is on because I can't show the catalog on screen, but if you've already got your catalog in your hands because you've picked one up from my porch, or perhaps you have another demonstrator close by, I am using the adorable Gingerbread Man Bundle on page 54 of that mini catalog. Just a reminder, if you're anywhere in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I'm more than happy to grab a catalog for you and pop it in the mail. And of course, you are able to pick one up from my porch if you're here in Edmonton. Now, don't worry, we're not going to start Christmas season all September and October. I will do some fall cards, don't worry. But this was too adorable not to share with you. So I had to do it as my kind of kickoff to the holiday catalog and make with you this adorable little gingerbread man card. So you guys might not have this on hand. In fact, you probably won't, but you can see how adorable it is and how easy this dies are to use because they make this card all in one pass. And then of course you're just adding all the little details that you want to him and his character. It's completely up to you how you customize. You can use candy canes, you can use gumdrops, the little peppermints, you can use mugs of hot chocolate, you've got hats, pinwheels, scarves, little bow, whatever you want. And there's even different eyes that you can add to your gingerbread man. So those are just the dies, and then you can see here in the stamp set as well. I'm going to close this just so you can see all the sentiments nice and clearly. All of those are available to just mix and match. You can make these gingerbread men however you would like. So I'm going to show you quick and simple how you can make this, and then tomorrow you can start ordering from my website, laurenurbonus.stampinup.net, and have your items shipped straight to your house. If you're here in Edmonton, of course, we can share shipping. So message me and I'm happy to do that with you. But let's get crafting. This guy is going to be very, very simple to put together. And so you're going to find it very easy to make as many of these as you want. So the only piece of paper that you for sure need to cut is a piece of pecan pie, or of course you could use a different color like early espresso if you want a darker gingerbread man. And we're going to use that double set of dies, this guy here, in one shot and cut out a joined little gingerbread man. Now these guys here, you will end up, you can see I cut kind of just half a sheet of cardstock, so technically it's 5.5 by 8.5. You don't have to be exact if you had something else. You'll have a scrap left over, so use that for something else in the future. But for now, we've got this guy. He's all ready to go. We're going to do a little bit of embossing on there to get that nice white icing look. And then I'll just show you all of the pieces that I cut out to kind of decorate him with and a little sentiment. So the easiest thing to use is a tool, unfortunately, that we no longer have. It's called a stamparatus. But you can buy something very similar from other companies called a Misty, or even just any stamp positioning tool. So you can see this is the outline of my two little guys where they were cut out, and I have some little pecan pie left. All I did was I took my little gingerbread man stamp and rested it inside this silhouette, and then it's positioned now every time for me to make a bunch of these, because I may or may not be doing some gingerbread men for some of my upcoming monthly card clubs. If you're interested in getting put on my mailing list, where I send out my calendar of events, and those kits can be sent anywhere in Canada, just shoot me a note with your email, and I send out a little monthly newsletter all the time with what we're doing. This guy is going to show up in one of my monthly cards, so probably November. So all I did on my stamp here is inked it up in my Versamark, which is our nice sticky ink. I'm going to stamp this down. Of course, if you don't have this kind of tool, you're just going to use a large block. The block E fits this guy perfectly. and you can just stamp on one of the sides of your gingerbread man. See? Easy peasy. Now we're doing a little bit of embossing with white embossing powder so that you get that nice icing glazed look. But this looks cute too. If you just wanted to stamp in like pecan pie, it looks great. So I've resorted to a Tupperware container full of white powder because I find it's just much easier to scoop all of this over top. So I'm just gonna do all the parts here, arms, legs, everywhere. There we go. Okay, now when I'm heating this, you won't be able to hear me, but you're just gonna look for the white turning from a nice kind of powdery, boring look to something shiny. So just watch for that change. That looks great to me. Now, before I fold this up, I'm going to stamp on the inside of the card. So the side that has the embossed already on it is going to be the front. And then I grab the little sugar and spice and everything nice sentiment. I could stamp with a dark early espresso or black, but I'm going to be risky and use cherry cobbler, a nice red color. And this fits just right across the two little arms here. Super cute. You have room then also to write a little to and from on this side, or you can write a full note there. Now you can fold it. So the only connecting point is going to be these two little arms. So just gently fold, make sure the other side of the body is lining up correctly, and give that a nice little burnish. There. Now I can bring, oh, I didn't emboss this very well at the top. Hold on, let's fix that. Okay, I don't think we've done too much damage. We will bring back our white powder, sprinkle his head again. See, looks good. I'm just gonna reheat that section. There we go. Now he's happy. I guess technically his hat was going to cover that, so it really doesn't matter. How you decorate this is completely up to you, of course, but I will show you all of the pieces that I cut out if you want to replicate this. They're all in the baggie so I don't lose them. Okay, easy ones first. We've got one hat in Pool Party, one scarf in Real Red, and then to build all of the pinwheels and the little candies here. So each pinwheel, we've got one red stick and one blue stick. And here's the fun part, is this pinwheel and the center part, they all cut out in one pass. So I can get one stick, one outside perimeter, and a set of the blades, I guess, all in one shot. And then I did have to do a little extra stuff. So then we've got, of course, the pieces that came with that one pass. And that one pass, okay? So all of this came in one shot, but we're gonna do another cut because when we build our pinwheels, we want a second layer of color, and you're gonna see why. So among these pieces, we're going to also cut ourselves one extra Pool Party blade and two extra white or red blades. And then with white paper, we're cutting out one center and one blade. And this little candy is just silver foil, nice and shiny for us. Okay, so assembly. Let's do the hat first. Easiest thing ever. We're just going to grab some mini dimensionals, pop them along the brim of the hat, kind of right in the center and close to that edge there. You don't want anything on the top because that part's actually hanging off of your project, so you don't want it attaching to the envelope or anything. So that just gets attached there. If you were wanting to, you can put it off to the side, but right along the top. Same for your scarf. We're going to put mini dimensionals on the back. You can put these anywhere because, of course, this guy is landing right in the middle of his body. The little bow might look cute too if you didn't want a full scarf. The fun of this die set is you can play with it and pretty much make whatever you want. Okay, now on to building our other pieces, and you will want some sort of liquid glue. So whether you have the Tombow glue or another sort of liquid glue, they're going to come in handy, as well as some sort of tape. Okay, so we're going to start with the little candy bonbon, and that's going to require your silver piece, your white circle, one of the white blades, and one of the red blades. Okay, that's how we're going to build that. So with your double-sided tape or regular Scotch tape, doesn't really matter because nobody's going to see it, we're going to start by attaching some of these pieces together. So I'm going to actually put the red and the white piece together. They'll match perfectly if you can get them lined up into place. And then just on the back, we're going to put a little piece of double-sided tape. This will attach those two sections, and it will also attach your peppermint to the candy wrapper. There we go. Here. Nice and flat. Now I did think this was cute, but I thought it was even better if when you're up close you saw kind of a three-dimensional swirl. So that's where the second white one is going to come in. We're just going to put a dot of glue in the center of the pinwheel, and then you're going to offset your white piece into the correlating section here. So you probably can't see it a ton from where you are, but when you are up close, you can actually see like a three-dimensional look with that extra piece. It's completely optional, but it's nice to have. So let that dry because that glue needs a few seconds, and then you can work on building some of these other pieces. Okay, so same idea. We're going to match the kind of thing that looks like the pinwheel or a lollipop with the empty space circle, and then we'll bring in the opposite pinwheel for starters. Okay, so this is what you should be working with at the moment. We need two pieces of the double-sided tape, and if you're really unsure, just put the double-sided tape across first, and then you can plop this guy into place. It will only go in the spots that it's supposed to, so don't stress. Okay, that one's set. This one's set. Nobody's gonna know there's tape back there. Just makes your life really easy. There we go. All right, then you can go ahead and attach them to their sticks, matching the blue onto the blue. I'm going to switch them just for the fun of it. Let's try this. Blue on red and red on blue. It doesn't really matter. You can do them whatever way you want, but I'm going to try mixing it. There we go. And then just like we did with the candy, we'll add one dot of glue to the center of each and add the opposite swirl color. So we used blue in the center here, so now we need the red to really stand out. And see, you can see it on there. You can see a little bit of dimension. The blue right there. There we go. All right, these will definitely need a few seconds to dry, so I'm gonna keep going, but I would suggest if you're doing this at home, give them a few more seconds than I am. So we're gonna start with one of the lollipop sticks. I went with the red topped one because I was opposite to the hat. So I'm gonna put one little dimensional up on the side of the gingerbread man's face so that your lollipop has something to attach to. It will also be attached at the bottom, kind of at this handle here, but this guy almost can come just straight down onto the little gingerbread man hand right there. Now here's where this one comes into play. We're going to put a little tape over the bottom to connect them, but I did find it handy to put one more dot of glue just on top of my pinwheel here, so the blue one wasn't flapping in the wind. Okay, so a little dot of glue on the side there. Connect these two kind of however you're comfortable, and just remember they'll need a few seconds to dry again. Now this little stick, if you want to, you can go ahead and trim it. Your candy should cover it, but just in case you've moved it down slightly or whatever, you might want to just cut it just with your scissors. So you can either put some tape, or I'm gonna make this easy and put one large dimensional over those sticks. That should stick them to the gingerbread's hand. And then here comes your candy. You just kind of put it at an angle here. Should cover all of your adhesives. Right like that. I'm gonna not touch him because he's still drying, but there's your gingerbread man. You can use whatever colors you wanted. You could sub out this peppermint for maybe a cup of hot chocolate or just one full candy cane if you want to just do one thing. And a little tip for you with the candy canes is if you decide, hey, I don't actually want the full gingerbread card, I'd just like to put him on a card front, this section is going to be flattened because of the fact that it's only one die. It doesn't have a nice round hand. So grab a candy cane, put it on the hand here, and then you can have your gingerbread man face either way. So I could have stamped this side, and then the candy cane would have to cover the right hand, and I would have, you know, something that's covering it. Nobody knows that it's kind of been chopped off. Okay, and then I'll have to show you one other die. You'll see this in the catalog when you look at the page, but there is also this squiggly die here. Okay, imagine with me movie Shrek, and do you remember that little gingerbread man? If you were to cut off his poor little leg and perhaps move this leg down a little on a card front, you could make the little Shrek gingerbread man, and this looks like you've took a bite out of the gingerbread man's legs. So I'm gonna have a little bit more fun with this bundle in the future. I'm sure you'll see him again, but I wanted to start you off with something festive. And tune in every Tuesday because I have more cards for you. I am now posting every Tuesday evening, just as a reminder, instead of the afternoon, because I think more of you can join me then. And make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because I'm also posting videos through September, October, and most of November with my lovely Great North American Stamping Show friends on Thursday nighs. So I am excited to keep crafting with you. Message me if you need anything or if you have questions. And if you're in Canada, feel free to reach out. I'd love to be your demonstrator, and I can add you to my email list, or you can shop with me online. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next week for another edition of Show Me How It's Done.